No, there's two aces in the deck. This is insane. We've had 3 losing weeks in a row, and let's be honest, it's probably the most likely outcome in week 4. We're not going to become a winning player in a month, but there's always a chance we could bink a final table to keep our bankroll healthy as we continue our studying journey. There's one problem with that though. I've been cursed by Ace King. This is week 4 of Punt to Profit. I started off with a late reg to the daily special, which meant we needed to spin up our stack pretty quickly. We get a shove from the big blind. Of course, we're going to rejam this. Ace 10, we're dominating. Bruh. Oh, I guess straight away first fucking table. First session of the week, and Ace King gets fucking beaten again by a fucking... Oh my god. Okay, not an ideal start, but 4 hands into the Fists of Fury, we were dealt kings. Well, now we're gonna make this... What? 8, 10, 12, make it about 13, I think. Okay, well. I guess we're going Ace King, Ace 10, Jacks. What the? No, there's 2 aces in the deck. Fucking hell. How do we keep getting so unlucky? What the Look, I know there were 3 players all in for over 100 bigs before I called, but this is microstakes, and I know they're going to turn up with trash like Ace 10, as evidenced by the calls. Unless I have a read on a nit, I'm going broke in this situation every time. So variance hit us early and gave us a break we weren't expecting, but that gave us a chance to recompose and not go on tilt. Yeah, I tilted by registering to some bounty tournaments. I've intentionally not been playing bounties because I want to learn regular tournaments first. This was impatient behaviour and stupid. Just stupid. We busted out in both, of course, and for good measure, we went out with Ace King in one of them. We block Ace Jack, we get called King 10, 2 pair, fuck's sake. Oh my god. At this point, I was hating Ace King. There's really not much else I can do when we get it in good pre-flop, and it just goes against us. But playing it post-flop is something I need to get better at. We're going to miss the flop a lot with Ace King, so how do we navigate it? That's the exact question I'm still left with as we picked it up in the daily deep stacks. This could get messy. How many hands have you been here for? 0. I'm gonna fold Ace King every fucking time moving forward. Without a read on our opponents, I think a cold 4-bet out of position is right here. I could maybe size it up a little bit more, but overall I'm pretty happy with how I played this pre-flop. Now, it's the C-bet on the flop I'm torn on. If there is a bet here, then sizing has to be small. But really, at these stakes, is a 4-bet caller gonna have anything that they fold out on this board to a small C-bet? I think I prefer a check looking back on it. And of course, the fold is mandatory. Bloody Ace King, I'm really hating it. In the turbo, we blinded down and busted out with pocket 9s. Nothing I've reviewed seemed out of line beforehand, it was just poor card distribution and variance. The hyper, though, is where we made a clear mistake and were reminded of how important our pre-flop fundamentals are. Pre-flop, queen 10 off should be a fold in this situation. It gets us in a really sticky position where we've got top pair, weak kicker in a low SPR pot. Once we're in, I think the flop and turn calls are defensible. The river, definitely not. How many players are really triple barrel bluffing at these stakes? I guarantee you it's not many.
Ace 5, fuck me.
After the tricky ace king earlier in the deep stacks, we really didn't get anything going there either. I ended up with 15 big blinds, and then I think I made a pretty loose decision here.
We have not had many hands. Oh god. A rejam by a Tony Shelby. Jacks. What are you gonna do, What you gonna do? We're gonna get saved by a 7 or a 9? Nope. Yeah.
Under the gun at 15 big blinds, maybe we should be raising rather than open jamming. I think if our stack's down to 10, the shove's fine. 15, it's borderline. Just like that, all we had left was the daily turbo and 10 big blinds. Not looking good.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna shove this with the limper. Alright, Nick. King Jack. We got diamonds dominated at least. Of course he hits a jack. Yay! We actually hit something. This better not be a fucking queen. Yay! We fucking... Oh, we were made to sweat, but we fucking finally won a hand. We played a hand. Ugh.
Well, there's life in the old dog yet. And 2 hands later, we had a very interesting spot.
20% 3-bet. Jam. I think we jam against 10 cents. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Alright, Nick has just put us above average. Thanks, Nick.
Now, 35 hands isn't concrete, but there were some signals. I also had a note on the player because of a limp call hand they played earlier. As I mentioned before, exploiting weak opponents is how we're going to make a lot of chips at the table. I have to spot fish and pick the right exploit. I think against this specific villain, 4-bet jamming was definitely the right decision. Of course, I wanted to finish the job, and knowing this player, they were probably going to be jamming any too.
Go on, fold. Let me take Nick down. I've done all the work already. 10-8, okay. Got him dominated. There's the queen, runner. Boom. Thanks, Nick, for all the chips. That's mad. Look, average stack 28.7, and we've got 52.
And just like that, we had a comfortable stack. A reminder that you can always recover in this game with some patience and, of course, a little bit of luck. We played solidly over the next 40 minutes. Good pre-flop decisions helped us post-flop, and we picked up some nice pots. With 5-minute blind levels though, it can get tough and you can find yourself quickly blinding down if you have a period of being card dead. We weren't on the bubble yet, but it was approaching fast and ICM was definitely becoming more and more of a thought in my mind. Now, I haven't studied ICM enough yet, one thing at a time. In this next hand, chippy V-wise, I think it's a standard call. But when you factor in ICM, I'm not as sure. I really want to know what you think about this one in the comments.
Oh, Mr. Vega. Mr. Vega. I think we have to call. Queen 10. Okay, it's a flip. Ah! I think we have to call. Hey, we fucking... What a horrible flop. What a fantastic turn.
We're back doing okay again, but not for long because one lost pot and a couple of blind levels and suddenly we've been chipped down again. We did make it to the money, but we only had 6 big blinds left. The prospects of making a deep run here weren't great, but patience is key. We shoved the right hands and folded the right hands pre-flop. Our stack yo-yoed up and down, and we actually made it through a few pay jumps. Suddenly we were down to 25 out the 600 field. Once again, we came across a situation where chippy V-wise, I think it's the right decision. ICM-wise, I'm questioning myself. Did this cost us the tournament?
I think we jam here. Even though they've been a little tight. Ace 6, okay. Okay. I still think we're meant to there. I mean, they're opening A6, so yeah. They just flopped the world. Okay. $7 cashed. Not bad, considering how awful it started tonight.
An awful start to our first session, ending on a positive. Yes, it wasn't a final table, but at least it was more than just a min cash. We'd laddered up a few pay levels. I also think in between some of those mistakes, we played some really solid poker. As I started the final session of the week, we were introduced to Mars 31, the juiciest fish you could hope for. Playing almost any 2 cards, I just needed something strong enough to stack off against him with. I didn't have to wait long for something playable. In fact, it was more than playable. We picked up aces.
We've had to wait for something. Oh, here we go. 4 and 4. Let's just make it 20. Okay, okay. This could be painful. This could be painful. Ace 4, okay. Oh my god, don't do this. Are you fucking kidding me? This maniac! Runner, runner!
Those are the type of bad beats that could send me into a tilt spin. But I kept my rage verbal. As far as I can tell, I didn't make any tilted decisions. Looking back, I think I played fine for the next 20 minutes after that. I almost wish I could blame tilt for this next decision though, because otherwise, I don't really know why I did what I did here.
I think all Roland can do here is jam or fold. Don't think that's the best call. Probably has an ace, right? Probably has an ace. I imagine we just put them all in. I imagine we just put them all in. Ace queen, okay. Ace queen off as well. Oh, I'm so sorry, Roland. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. Oh, no.
I should just fold and get out on this ace-high board. If I call the flop, I'm basically committed because of the SPR. Raising just isn't an option because it folds out bluffs and only gets called by better. It was a lucky outcome for a pretty bad decision. Not long after, there was another mistake, but this one I think shows a little bit of progress. Down to 20 big blinds on the button facing a cut-off open, I decide to jam.
I think we're meant to jam that. Oh shit, we've been called. Oh no. Oh no. Hearts, please. A 3, please. Shit. Was that a mistake?
The reason I think this shows progress is because I would have never had a shoving range at 20 big blinds in this spot before. From studying ranges, I remember that we should be shoving some hands at 20 bigs versus a cut-off open. The question is, should ace-4 suited be one of those hands? In the ranges I use, it's more of a call or 3-bet, not a jam. So it's not a complete punt, but it is out of range. I had the right idea, just didn't execute it properly. Definitely progress. We busted out the hyper thanks to losing a bunch of chips to, you guessed it, ace-king, and then blinding down. Again, variance will always do its thing. But leaking chips in stupid spots is something that's harder to find. This next hand is a prime candidate.
I think we have to call Jack 6. I don't really understand anyone's play there, including my own.
It's really awkward pre-flop. What's raising 3 big blinds with 5.5 behind? Defending the big blind is okay, but calling with just 2 overs on the flop? I don't think that's a good decision. I got king high, no pair, no spade, no real draws. Even against the actual hand, I didn't have enough equity. This is exactly the kind of small, ugly call that is probably costing me over and over again, and I don't even realize it. One to look for and find in the database for sure. Now, one thing I've not had a chance to do much of is play with a big stack. I'm just not accumulating enough chips. Another leak. But in the Daily Classic, a big pot was forming.
We're gonna go... No, okay. We've gone 5 ways and we've hit a set. We get it in. Thank you very much. That is huge. Couldn't get away from the king.
Suddenly we were being dealt all the good cards, but could we get value from them?
We just pot it. Ah, and the turbo. We got something we can shove now. We call Roma Roachas 5-4 clubs. No club, please. No club, please. Yes, that's another huge hand. And our ace-king is going up against ace-7. No 7. Yes! 2 big hands in a row. Oh my god, and we've just got ace-king suited in the Daily Classic. Can we make even more? Okay, it's not the best flop for us. We've got a gut shot here. We'll let that go.
Things were going better, but getting value from premiums isn't the hardest thing to do. It's important, yes, but I need to pick up chips other ways too. In this spot, I thought I had a good check raise candidate. On review, I think it's marginal. I think I need a stronger draw, but I'd love to know what you think in the comments.
All right, we've got the flush draw against Opus Max. We're gonna check raise. And we're all in. King 10, a diamond, a 6 or a diamond. A diamond! Huge! Again, I don't know if that was the right decision, but we had to get aggressive there.
Immediately after, we had the chance to pressure the big blind by open shoving our sixes.
And we are going to jam on the big blind. And we get called by King 8. Oh my word.
I'm in danger.
Come on. Come on. He's got so many outs. Uh-oh. Ah! I think that's the right play, though. I think we have to jam.
A significant chip swing there, and again, there's not much you can do but just accept the variance. Cue another ace-king.
We're going to have to call it. Jacks. Oh, still not safe. No! That hurts. That's a big hand that's gone the wrong way. Ace king again, man. Letting me down constantly.
Again, a chip swing that just hurts, especially in a turbo. We now had more shoves in our range as we got shorter. We weren't in pure shove fold territory yet, but we definitely had some open shoves in our range. Ace-6 suited feels like a good candidate at these stack sizes from the cutoff.
We get called by the button and the big blind. Kings, jacks. Okay, please an ace. Please an ace. An ace if you would please. It is not an ace. Cool. I think we just got very unlucky running into kings and jacks there.
Absolutely brutal to run into kings and jacks in that spot. I ended up making a pretty loose shove under the gun to finally bust out. Ace-3 off is just too loose here. Maybe and probably a little bit of tilt. And I don't know if that carried over to the Daily Classic because this next hand is just bizarre, and not in a good way. In fact, it's worthy of Punt of the Week. He's punting away his whole stack. His graph is looking really bleak. It's Punt of the Week.
I might have got a little bit out of line here. Oh, 15. It's less than half pot. How often do we need to be good here? Three, 5 outs. So I don't think we can call that. Oh, that was silly, Sean. That was silly. Should have just called.
The worst part is I hit the king on the turn and still had to fold, which proves there was no plan with the flop call. But my bizarre play was not as bizarre as what followed in the turbo. Ladies and gents, let me introduce you to Jimmy Ace 82.
Jimmy Ace. Clueless maniac. Please let Jimmy Ace win. Jimmy. 8s against 8-5. Oh my god, a 7 or a 3, please. Please, a 7 or a 3, please. Please. Give Jimmy more chips. It's a 7. Jimmy Ace is on fire. Oh my god. 10s. Ace 10. Jimmy Ace has actually got Something semi... Oh, the Jimmy Ace is dead. Unless an ace comes. It's not an ace. Okay. Oh my god, we've got aces. We've got aces. We've got aces. Please, 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 please. Please. This could be huge. Jimmy Ace is going to get involved. Oh, my word. Come on, Jimmy. Aces against kings against 10-9. Oh, runner, runner. Don't do this to me. Yes, that's huge for us. That is massive. Thanks, Jimmy Ace.
With the bubble fast approaching, having an absolute maniac fish with a large stack is a dream. The problem was there was every chance Jimmy Ace wouldn't be around for long for us to try and get chips off them.
Jimmy Ace is risking tournament life with a jack. Oh my god. A jack 4. No. Yes, Jimmy Ace is still alive. Oh, I want Jimmy Ace in this and on my table. 6-4 against ace jack. Oh my god, Jimmy. Oh my god, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy. No ace, no jack. Jimmy's alive! Oh, Jimmy Ace. With the 6-4 off. Doubles up. Jimmy Ace is going to go all in. Why are you betting? Jack, deuce, 7s, 10s. No. Jimmy! 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 Oh my god. No! Jimmy's out. Oh no, Jimmy wins the side pot. Jimmy wins the side pot. Okay, okay, okay. It's all good.
We needed to be careful. Jimmy was dangerous. As the bubble burst, we finally had a playable hand. I was happy to get it in with ace-10 off against Jimmy, but then the small blind beat us to it. I couldn't go 3 ways. Thank you, small blind.
We can't. Oh, ace-9 suited. Okay. Is this the end of Jimmy Ace? Jimmy Ace rivers again. This is insane. This is insane.
Jimmy was actually folding every once in a while, about 15% pre-flop, and it meant we didn't get into another hand with him. But it didn't matter. We picked up some pretty good pots against other players at the table, and suddenly found ourselves as the 9th biggest stack with 68 runners remaining. As for Jimmy, of course, there was only one way this story could end.
4s, ace king, ace king. Jimmy Ace has got ace king. And he's runner runner. Oh my word. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Jimmy Ace. Bow your heads. Take a moment.
It had to be ace-king. With Jimmy gone, we had to focus on playing against unknowns again. The turbo blinded us down to about 15 big blinds, but it wasn't that far below the average. Ace-king then showed up. A good chance to double, but we know our history. We were due one, surely.
One away. I think he's trying to ladder before I call him. Ace king against pocket 5s. Oh, I need a high flop, please. Oh, come on. Ah, ace king again letting me down. Oh boy.
Incredibly frustrating again. Looking back, I think I played some of my best poker of the series in that second half of that second session. Win that all in and we've got a chance to go deep. There are only 42 runners left, and with 30 big blinds in a turbo, we could easily have made it down to the final 2, if not the final table. Variance kicked us in the balls again. We were down to 2 and the classic slowed down for us. Still 90 odd players away from the bubble, we chipped down to below 20 big blinds. I don't think I missed chips through any major blunders, but I can guarantee we missed opportunities to pick up chips that I haven't even found out yet. The latest daily turbo was going okay, and we actually won a pot with Ace King.
Come on, Jada. And check it down. Ace 6, King Deuce. Okay.
Okay, it was only 7 big blinds, but with our history with Ace King this week, I'm taking it. When we did have an ace that didn't have a king attached to it, things were going a lot better.
Alright, Ace 10 hearts. Sasha jams. I jam. Oh, we've got aces in the turbo. Is that the 3rd time we've had aces in the turbo? Rolling in the classic against Sasha's Jack Deuce. Oh, beautiful. And our aces have been flatted, and then there's a squeeze, so we are gonna re-jam. Aces against jacks. We're looking good. We're looking very good. He's only got 2 outs. Only got 2 outs. And that's not one of them. That's a big hand for us.
Things were going too well, so I guess it's time to find a silly leak.
We've got flush draw. Backdoor straight. Potential. We have to continue. We pick up probably a little bit more equity, to be honest. This is going to be an interesting hand to review because he's got some 10s in his range, but he's also got a lot of overcards. Has queens. Wow, didn't bet it. Wow, didn't bet for value.
I actually think everything is fine here until the turn. Calling the turn bet is a mistake. Against under the gun's second barrel range, do I have enough equity or a clean river plan? If the river bricks, I check and lose. If the river is a spade, the villain may check back or fold enough that implied odds are limited. If I hit an 8, great, but then that's only 2 outs. Thinking of what's come before is something we've identified in previous episodes. I also need to start thinking about what comes after. If I'm making a call, what's the plan on the river? That left us too short to recover, and to rub salt into the wound, guess what knocked us out? Ace bloody king. Even worse, at exactly the same time, we picked up pocket 10s in the turbo and decided to ISO jam.
And then our 10s have been called by the button. He's got king queen. Oh man, this jack or a 10, please. Jack or a 10, please. King queen off. That is such a loose call. That is such a loose call.
And that killed us. Turbos are brutal. We blinded down. We tried to play some hands, but boards just weren't hitting for us. A lot of the preflop action meant we couldn't even get involved in hands. We fizzled out, busted out, and ended the week with just 2 cashes. So what has that done for the graph? It's a continued downswing. but I'm not letting it get to me. I'm playing microstakes because I know my play isn't good enough. We just minimize the losses as much as we can until we're good enough to start winning at these stakes. I'm staying positive. This week I learned Ace King is cursed. It's just not the hand for me. But all joking aside, I have learned some valuable lessons this week. Reflecting, I do think that my preflop aggression has got a lot better. It's by no means perfect, there's a lot of studies still to do. But I'm open jamming in spots I'd never would have before. I'm taking aggressive approaches blind v blind. It's progress. Variance will play a role, but I think I'm starting to pick more good spots than I used to in the past. Now, something where I'm not making progress is out of position. I'm losing way too many chips in marginal out of position spots. I think I just continue too much post flop. I'm not a complete calling station, but I definitely need to tighten up out of position. Especially if I'm not thinking about what the plan is in future streets. That's something I need to start working on. Equally, I think we played some good exploits this week as well. Johnny Ace was always going to be easy to exploit. They're the fish that are almost no-brainers. But looking back at that Ace-9 4-bet jam, that's a spot I'm really proud of. We recognised some player tendencies and got out of line in order to exploit. That's good and proves that only playing a maximum of 3 tables and keeping my full attention on what's going on is working. As always, pre-flop fundamentals will continue to be the foundation of our study. I'm definitely going to keep looking at post-flop too. Just getting the fundamentals under my belt is what I need to do. I can worry about the more complex aspects later on. Poker is a complex game and I'm not going to fix it overnight. Despite the graph, I feel like I'm learning and I'm making small steps forward. That's the most important thing right now. So that's another week in the books. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell notification so you know when the next episode is live. If you're on mobile, I'd really appreciate if you could hit that hype button too. I'll be back again next week, and I hope to see you then.